Dr. Annabelle Milano Morgan wrote Mighty Flower, How Cannabis Saved My Son. I spoke with her recently.
I'm a cell and developmental biologist, hail from Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. And, I'm a mother of five. And my third child, Macario, he was suffering from seizures. He had a stroke at birth, and he immediately started having anywhere from 200 to 500 seizures per day.
Mm.
So we spent the first 5 weeks of his life in ICU. And shortly after that, at 5 weeks old, he had 38% of his left brain removed.
Wow.
So he's basically missing almost all of his left brain. And so this surgery was the first time it was ever done. And of course, the outcome didn't look very good as far as developmentally. However, we took him home and he was eating out of a tube and he was growing. However, he was not developing.
Well, what drew you to cannabis as that different option for your son?
It wasn't Facebook and Instagram like most people would read about. There is some peer-reviewed research that really drew me that spoke about how different compounds from cannabis affected neuroplasticity, which pretty much means the ability of the brain to rewire and adapt to changes, and in his case, compensate for the area that's lost. I started in neuroscience, so I knew a little bit about these compounds and I knew about the possibilities. And with him, I just had nothing to lose, and I knew it was natural. I knew exactly what I was doing. There was no toxicity that I had to worry about. So I gave it a shot. I felt like I had nothing to lose at that point.
And what's the difference between the cannabis you may be able to get from a dispensary and the CBD products you see in your local store? What's the difference between those products and your product?
So what I created for my son is really pharmaceutical grade. And what that means is that it's pure. A lot of what you see in the dispensary and what you see in the stores, it's not that they're bad, but we don't understand their full composition because a lot of them are plant extracts or flower extracts. So there's all kinds of goodness that come from inside of the plants. Because of that, there's a certain consistency that really bothers the FDA and really bothers it from being able to go through a traditional pathway to become a medicine. Because in these medicines, as toxic as some can be, we understand their dose tolerance. We understand exactly what's in each pill or what's in each bottle.
Dr. Annabelle, overall, what would you like your readers to take away from your story?
I'd love my readers, especially those moms out there, to take away that, there's always a chance. I really want to inspire people. It was a really dark place to be in at that time, and it feels like you're alone. And to be able to see my son today and how well he's doing, the courage that I had to have at that time. I mean, anybody can have it. And to also keep your mind incredibly open, have a neutral mindset. Understand that, there is good in cannabis. There's a lot of stigmas. But if we just study it and we just allow ourselves to be properly educated on it, it can be really helpful for all people one day.